The small town had never seen anyone like Armando. From an early age, he made a point of repeating, chin raised and eyes full of superiority, "I am the best cook in the world. There is no one better than me." People listened, but they didn't like it. It wasn't just confidence, it was arrogance. Armando corrected everyone, criticized other people's recipes, and made sure to humiliate anyone who tried to cook near him. Even so, there was one thing no one could deny. His food was extraordinary. And that's why, one day, he decided to do something no one would ever forget: a grand feast. Invitations were spread all over the town. Men, women, children, everyone was curious. What would that arrogant man do this time? But what caught everyone's attention wasn't the party itself. It was the announcement: "I'm going to cook without a pan." Silence fell over the crowd when people heard that. Without a pan. Someone whispered. "He's gone crazy," said another. But on the day of the feast, everyone showed up. The town square was packed. Tables arranged. Fresh ingredients everywhere. And Armando stood in the middle of it all, hands clean, looking at everyone as if he was about to prove something. "Today, you will see what it means to be the best." And then it began. At first, it looked like a joke. He grabbed the ingredients, pressed them, mixed them, crushed them with his bare hands. But then came the heat. He improvised a fire, and without hesitation, put his hands directly into the process. "He's insane," someone shouted. And yet, the smell, it was incredible. The aroma filled the air. It was something no one in that town had ever experienced before. People were torn between shock and fascination, but there was something no one could ignore: Armando's face, the pain. His teeth were clenched. Sweat ran down his face. His hands began to turn red, then swollen. But he didn't stop. "I am the best," he murmured through heavy breaths. Hours later, the food was ready, and when people tasted it, silence, a deep silence. This is impossible," a man said, eyes wide. It was perfect, simply perfect. That day, Armando proved to the world what he had always claimed, but he also paid the price. The next day, he woke up and tried to move his hands. Nothing. They felt strange, weak, soft, as if they had lost all strength. "No, no," he whispered in despair. Days passed, and his condition only got worse. The man who used his hands as his greatest weapon now couldn't even hold a spoon. And then came the worst part. People began to laugh. "Where's the best cook in the world now? Go on, cook with your hands." Looks like pride fell hard, huh? The town that once watched now mocked him, and Armando disappeared. For 5 years, no one saw him cook again. The kitchen grew cold. The fire went out. Silence filled the house. But there was someone who never left his side. His son, still a child during the great feast. He grew up watching everything. Every detail. Every movement. Every flavor described by his father. Because even without being able to cook, Armando never stopped teaching. "It's not just the hand. It's what you feel," he would say, looking into his son's eyes. "Flavor starts here," he would touch his chest, "and ends here," pointing to his head. The years passed, and the boy grew up. One day, he walked into the kitchen, placed the ingredients on the table, and looked at his father. "Today, I'm going to try." Armando fell silent. That moment was everything. The young man began to cook. At first unsure, making mistakes, hesitating. "Slow down," Armando said. "Feel the smell. Now mix. Don't overthink. Feel it." And then something happened. The movements began to flow. The food began to come alive. And when it was ready, Armando tasted it. He closed his eyes. And for the first time in years, he smiled. "You did it." From that day on, something new was born. The son cooked, and the father guided. Together, they became a team, and what started in a small town soon crossed borders. Famous restaurants began to hear about them. Critics came from far away. People traveled miles just to taste that food, and everyone said the same thing: there's something different here, and there was. It wasn't just technique, it wasn't just talent, it was pain, learning, humility, and redemption. Armando, the man who was once arrogant and hated, was now respected, not because he said he was the best, but because he finally learned how to be. And in the silence of the kitchen, while his son cooked, he simply watched, with a gentle smile, because sometimes, for someone to truly become great, they must first lose everything.